Debt from the French and Indian War, taxes, and British control helped to fuel dissatisfaction with colonial rule and launch the American Revolution. The colonists would revolt against these taxes and British control by boycotting goods that were taxed, smuggling goods, and defying laws. Great Britain and the colonists defeated the French and Native Americans in the French and Indian War. Although they won the war, Britain was straddled with debt from the war. This debt would eventually lead to Great Britain imposing more taxes on the colonists. Great Britain would also exert more control over the colonists to prevent future conflicts. Great Britain began to impose more taxes on the colonists after the French and Indian War. These taxes were passed on to the colonists to help pay the debts raised from the war. These taxes and the fact that the colonists did not have participation in British Parliament fueled anger by the colonists with colonial rule. No taxation without representation would become the rallying cry of the colonists during the American Revolution. Great Britain began to impose more control over the colonists after the French and Indian War. Although the British won the war and gained territory from France, they restricted Western expansion by the colonists. They did this in order to ease tension between the settlers west of the Appalachian Mountains and the French and Native Americans in those areas. The colonists were angered by this because they saw this as an attempt by the British to keep them along the coast to make trade easier. Great Britain also increased control over the colonies by clamping down on smuggling. Many colonists were bypassing British restrictions or taxes by smuggling goods into the colonies. Courts were set up to try these smugglers. Colonists saw these courts as a violation of their rights. The increased control by Britain was another reason the colonists launched the American Revolution.